Audrey Penn, author study by Tara DiNardo. Penn was born May 4, 1950, in Tacoma Park, Maryland. She did not grow up wanting to be an author, nor did she even think she would be one. However, she has always enjoyed children's literature. Instead, she was a professional ballerina dancing with the National Ballet, New York City Ballet, and various others. She was also a choreographer for the United States figure skating team and the Olympic gymnastics team 2 years in a row. Although Penn's career didn't have anything to do with children, as a performer, Penn was often a part of children's theater and children's dance. So, what moved Penn to have a total career change so early in her life and begin a journey as an author? Sadly, she was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which is accompanied by joint pain, swelling, and stiffness. Keep in mind she was only in her late 20s, very early on in her physically demanding career. As you can imagine, this restricted what Penn could do. Dancing was not an option anymore. It all started with the journal. Penn began journaling in the 4th grade. She often tells the story how it was her 2 brothers who were always teasing her that inspired her journaling. She expanded her topics onto things her pets did, and then eventually started journaling about everything. Things she saw, things she heard. The journal was tossed aside and forgotten about as things do when you get older. It was Audrey's mother who dug up the journal, which inspired Penn to turn her entries into her first book. This is where the ball gets rolling. Penn was physically restricted. She could no longer express herself through dance. She needed another creative outlet. Writing was the answer. Happy Apple Told Me, Penn's first book. Penn shares that she was not an author and didn't even know how much writing went into writing a book. It was a process, the drafting and editing and rewriting over and over again. Having such little experience writing children's books, Penn is constantly working on her craft, through trial and error. She also attended a course for writing children's literature. Her inspiration comes from real-life occurrences. Her most popular book, The Kissing Hand, is based off of a real event, where Penn actually watched a mother raccoon kiss her cub's paw, which then placed on his face. Penn tried this out with her own daughter, who was afraid of going to kindergarten. The Kissing Hand was successful. Penn likes to base her characters off of everyone she knows. She particularly prefers using animals in her books, not only because kids can relate to them and enjoy them, but because they are multicultural and aren't just geared toward any particular gender, race, or ethnicity. Animals are clever, and they treat their children with such love. Much of Penn's inspiration comes out of her visits to schools, which she often does. Visiting schools gives Penn the chance to observe and talk to children, who often give her ideas and help her tune her drafts. It is in these school visits that Penn is able to gain insight on which topics, characters, plots, writing styles, language, and dialogues are preferred by a range of children, all different ages. Audrey currently resides in Maryland, still, with her husband and 2 dogs. She has 3 children and 1 foster child. While she's still creating books, she also has an educational program, The Writing Pen, where she travels to schools and partners with kids to create and refine her stories. In addition to that, she also works with adults, where she speaks on children's literature. And this is Penn with Chester Raccoon and Ronnie. Penn's books are easily recognizable because of her craft. Some recurring techniques she uses are giving Chester a problem and having Mrs. Raccoon propose a practical solution. The use of personification is seen constantly as Penn gives the animals human-like characteristics. They go to school, have friends, sit at the dinner table. Each of her books teach lessons that are useful for kids and parents who are helping their children cope with similar issues, whether it be first aid jitters, separation anxiety, sibling rivalry, and even bullying. Her writing is very visual and detailed, awakening all of the reader's senses. She's been told, "You don't write books, you choreograph them." My favorite aspect of her writing is how she uses such warm, loving language throughout every book, which is what really makes them unique.